Hello and welcome to round number 7 of the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter race from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Club. For Race First, I'm Matt Houston, so welcome back. We're back for another week here. This is round number 7. We did do the Indianapolis race last week that had some exciting moments in it. That night race pretty much started at sunset when we started the qualifying session, but ended really dark there. No lighting in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so it was pretty dark by the end of that race. We had a lot of incidents, but Hendrick ended up taking the win on that one. Unfortunately, Christopher Hill, who had won every single race, 1 through 5, had some misfortunes with a lapped car, but that, you know, that is part of racing. So we're at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Club. We are running a little bit different layout than I am used to. Maybe do a onboard with somebody. Just go on the nose. Let's see if we can get somebody earlier in the lap here. Maybe with Hill. Nah, he's not too early, so we'll wait on that a moment, and then we'll run through a lap with our champion of the previous season, and then we'll let him take us around for a lap of the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Club. So there's this section, would be turn 2, called the Keyhole, but we're using the not even sure what it's called, but there's a kind of a chicane. They might call it a chicane, but it's not. It's kind of like an S-curve that they added to it. I know kart used to run it sometimes in the 90s, but IndyCar and the sports cars don't run this particular layout. I'll show you where it's at. So Hill's going to come across. That is the start-finish line right there. We're going to head into the first corner, a fast left-hander. And now usually the Indy cars and sports cars would run up, but there's cones here. So we have a S's here before that. A little bit slower section, and then they'd be into the Keyhole right here. And then a long run. They do consider this little kink on the straightaway here a corner, but for my sake, it's not a corner, but they do call it turn 3 on the normal course. And then we head down to China Beach, another fast right-hander this time. And then we get over this hill, and then we're into the S's. That China Beach back there was probably the best passing point. We'll be watching that as the race progresses tonight. This is through the S's. Another fast right-hander here. Rear end of the car can come around, and then we're into what they call Thunder Valley. Fast run down into another fast left-hander, and then hard braking into what they call the carousel here, kind of a 180-degree corner. And then that was a lap here from Christopher Hill, our current provisional pole sitter here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Club. So shout out to our sponsors before we get too far here tonight. Let's get them on the screen. How about we do that? So Hagerty is one of our sponsors. It's Treakle Insurance and Hagerty Insurance. So Treakle Insurance is an independent insurance provider. It's an independent insurance agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance. They've teamed up with Hagerty Insurance to provide collector car coverage as well as race car and track day coverage. So again, if you have a sports car and you know, you're out at the racetrack and you happen to bin it, your normal car insurance isn't going to cover that. In addition to that, we have the Beltway Brewing Company. So let me pull that up. If this cooperates. We're not cooperating here tonight? Yep, we should be. Okay, I think this has gotten pulled off the screen. Well, we'll fix that. I think it's better to fix it right now, isn't it? Than to fix it later. So let's do some live fixing a job here. I see what the issue is here. Let's me... We had this all together. Well, I'll give you guys some live pictures. How about that? While I look into this. All right, we are back. So I had to troubles of live TV here. So I had to we've overwritten one of our advertisements and now it is correct, but I think I do need to fix one last thing. Is currently Hill in P1, Torres in P2. Our winner from last week's back in 7th at the moment, so it's going to need to step up his game a little bit. Treakle's one of our sponsors there in P3. Kennedy in P4. We got a car spinning off there. And I did see, unfortunately, Yakov Bielik won't be here tonight, so shout out to him. He's taking care of some family kind of issues, and so we wish him the best with all of that here tonight. So let me go ahead and get back to this commercial business. So that was our problem right there, is that our commercial for the Beltway Brewing Company was not in the right spot. It had been overwritten. So now everything's perfect. This is what we wanted. So going back to that, so a Beltway Brewing Company, we'll do a run through. So thirsty for a winning local craft beer, Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and proudly represents the DMV. Their lineup of original handcrafted IPAs, lagers, sours, stouts, and even seltzer you can order directly from Beltway's website at beltwaybrewco.com. It is beltwaybrewco.com for contact-free delivery right to your door or pickup from the Sterling Tap Room. So back to live pictures. Yeah, unfortunately there, Julian, we don't have any music here tonight. But I'm thinking that Race First needs to get a theme song, so we'll be having our own music here in the near future, in addition to what that Tuesday Night Thunder has to deal with. So Joseph Catridi's not putting in a lap yet. He's not currently on the track, and maybe not in the server quite yet either. Quite a few cars in the pit lane. I'd be wanting to get out there and run this fuel down and put on some new tires. As it looks like Hill is currently half a second up on Rafael Torres there. Yes, we will have the best music, I think. I could play some music, but I don't think Jason would appreciate me playing that. Since I'd really like to have it though, but we'll have our own. Thanks everybody for watching out there. Just a few viewers so far tonight. I know most of the guys that watch these races watch it on the replay. Let's see how this sounds for you guys out there. Hopefully you can still hear my voice. On board with Rafael here. Rafa Torres, as he heads towards China Beach. It took until the Reddit series last season, their first season, to me to know that this particular corner, as he goes off in China Beach, that's why it's called that was called China Beach. Never knew that. And he lets car go by. Gets back onto the track. So again, Rafa here I'm still surprised that he's actually here because last season, or last race, he was saying he was having some technical difficulties, I think with his GPU, and wasn't so sure he was going to be able to get a new one in time, but he was there last week. Of course, he did have some, didn't have the best race. And Hendrick, our winner from last week, has moved it up to the 5th position. He was in 7th or 8th earlier. As we see cones going over the kind of back straightaway there. That actually, so on that back straightaway, in a lot of the professional real life series, they actually start the race on that line rather than where iRacing is going to start it on the actual finish line. And so they're going to start the race in that carousel, which we're going to see momentarily here. That is into Thunder Valley goes Peter Lennick. As he looks a little slow there, maybe making a gap. Into the carousel. So the race is going to start in the carousel. Right here, they're going to go green. So you're going to have cars in the carousel still when it goes green. And so that's kind of the issue with the Indy cars. They don't like doing that, starting the race over there. And as we talked about earlier, they use this kind of S's section rather than that direct run to the keyhole, as that orange car goes off into the barriers there. I saw him go. Not sure who that was. Let's see. It is Stover. Now, Stover was involved with that incident with the leaders last week, so he'll want to not be part of any of that here. There were some discussions I saw today in the drivers' meeting about incidents. There is a cap on incidents, penalties assessed after, I believe, about 12 incidents in this, so they'll get a black flag. This is just to try to keep the incidents down. But admins listening to the drivers on a lot of that, and some back and forth there between the drivers and the admins of the series. So Aspen Belvin last week, this is the first time I'd seen him last week, and I think he had a top 5 in that race at Indianapolis Road Course into the night. Another new driver, though, is this Bobby Blankenship here. I don't recall this name before, so we're going to get to know Bobby here tonight. Currently in the 12th position. Kind of the usual suspects, but at the top of the field, I'd say, in that top 5 or so. I think we talked to Colin Kordenek last week on the podium in that 3rd spot. As we tick down, just about 3 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Kordenek goes through that SS section into the keyhole. Gets a little bit of fishtailing into the keyhole, but he looks like he comes out of that corner. Did have a little bit of grass into the dirt on the exit there, though. And so last week we broadcast on Facebook through popular demand, basically unanimous decision voting. We are back on YouTube for the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Series here. So we're happy to be back here. Kind of our main source here of our streaming, as that was Hill going around Kordenek there. I believe that was Hill. Actually, it was not Hill. Who was that? Was that Treakle? Yeah, it was Treakle. just about 2 minutes left in qualifying, so that'll give them at most 2 laps to get it done here. Hill is... okay, he is still circulating. I thought earlier on he was just sitting in the pits. Raphael is called it a day, though. He's in the pits. Hendrick thinks he can do a little bit better, but he's got some traffic at him, and that's going to probably slow him down. Rafa has called it in. So Treakle, see what he can do. Might be able to top Rafa. His last lap was only 100th of a second off of his top lap. As he goes into the China Beach section, he's going to be having to deal with Stover up here, though. That's certainly going to impact his lap, so I think that's as good as done. It's really hard to find a gap out here. Dean Thuline here. 1 minute left in qualifying, so anybody that can get across that start-finish line before the checkered flag will be able to do their hot lap. Quite a few cars on pit lane now. So Michael Bond here. Into Thunder Valley they go. Certainly Hendrick's lap is compromised there. Oh, and Michael Bond goes off through Thunder Valley. Difficult curve there, especially in these heavy cars. And again, they're only going to have 12 incidents here, limit before they get a black flag. So good luck to these drivers out here. It's going to be a tough one. As the clock ticks down, Hendrick's going to have one more shot here to improve on his position. We'll keep an eye on him there. On board with him. Yeah, to the China Beach. We're going to be repeating that all night. Oh, nope, he's decided to just abandon this lap. All right, we're done. So with that said, let's do a run through of our sponsors once again here. So Treakle Insurance is an independent insurance agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance. They have teamed up with Hagerty Insurance to provide collector car coverage as well as race car and track day coverage. And then, as we discussed earlier, we also have Beltway Brewing Company. Thirsty for an award-winning local craft beer? Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia, and proudly represents the DMV. Try their lineup of original handcrafted IPAs, lagers, sours, stouts, and even seltzer, so you can order directly from their Beltway's website. That's beltwaybrewingcompany.com, beltwaybrewco.com, for contact-free delivery right to your door, or pick it up at their Sterling tap room. So we're going to be running through the grid here. Everything counts down. We still got a little bit of time here. I think we can go ahead and run through our grid, though. So on the pole will be Christopher Hill at 1:20.901, followed by Rafa Torres, 0.55 back, followed by Darren Treakle, just 4 thousandths of a second back from Rafa there. Brian Kennedy in 4th, Hendrik Desort in 5th, Colin Kordenek in 6th, Dean Thuline in 7th, Peter Lanik, Peter Yerksa, Aspen Belvin, and then in 11th are one of our men's here, Scott Kim, Bobby Blankenship in 12th, Brian Hare in 13th, Tim Bradford in 14th, Michael Bond in 15th, John Wood in 16th, Stephen Tenney in 17th, Matthew Stover in 18th, and Robert Benson in 19th, and Joseph Getritties. Not sure if he's actually in the server, so he'll be starting last if he does come in at the last minute. So this will be a 30-minute race, and we'll get this thing. This is going to be a short pace lap here. As I was talking about earlier, we're going to start it up in the carousel. Christopher Hill is going to get the green flag at that point, and as we've mostly seen in races here, he's gonna go real early, and these cars are gonna spread out. You know, half the field's gonna be in that carousel, if not 80% of the field. So we'll see how this goes. I've had a lot of first lap contact in our previous races in this series. Porsche pace car comes on in, and we have our green flag. Everybody so far so good through the first bit here. Things are going to give it sketchy up here as they enter into the keyhole section. So far so good though. Hendrick moved up. Well, no, he started in that fifth position, didn't he? Christopher Hill heads towards China Beach. Everybody's kind of staying stationed from where they qualified. And everybody's made it through that fourth corner there. Clear sailing, and we have Hill through into Thunder Valley. Really easy to put a tire wrong at that point there into Thunder Valley. Under pressure as Rafa from Darren there. And they're into the carousel for the first time. Gonna be probably doing about 20 or so laps here. Everybody's kind of staying stationed, I think. I don't know if we really had anybody move up too much here. I think everybody really is maybe one or two positions from where they started, but it really was a clean start, as I think we finally had our first car off. Let's see if we can figure out who that was. Looks like it was Aspen Belvin. Goes off on the, probably drops a tire on the exit of turn one, nose first into the barriers. And we'll be back to live pictures. Through the S's they go. Trying to look and see if we have any really tight battles. I mean, they're all kind of about a half a second from each other at this point. There's the best battle we have on the track with Darren Treakle right on the bumper of Rafa Torres. A little bit different lines through the carousel there. Trying to find what works. Rafa has a little bit better exit out of the carousel though. And you could see how easy it was with Aspen Belvin just dropping a tire right there, and car went around. So that's going to be an issue as these tires go off and this race develops here tonight. Side by side. Oh, and we have some contact. Bobby Blankenship with Scott Kim. That is our admin. Oh, and that is... Was that Yerxa? I'm not sure who that was. We're going to have to see that one again. We have other cars going off as well. Tim Bradford, Espen Belvin. Okay, side by side here was Kim. And he just gets, two cars couldn't go into there. And then, not 100% sure who that was, just came out of nowhere and gave Scott there a little bit extra helping of contact. Back to the front. On board with Darren Treakle here. He is kind of kept it to about a half a second there. Looking back, also on board with Hendrick here. He's just 3/10 back from Brian Kennedy. Really, I'll have to say that our current, as Kennedy goes a little wide, Hendrick's going to try to get an advantage coming out of the corner there. Let's go back on board with him here. He doesn't look like he's gonna make a position there. As they head into turn, I was gonna say turn 4, but with that, oh, we've got Rafa off the track there. Treakle takes over that second spot. But yeah, I was gonna say kind of usual suspects in that top 3 positions. Although Hendrick's often up there, but I know a lot of our podium interviews last season were with Hill and Treakle and Torres and Hendrick. But yeah, just made a little mistake there, did Rafa. Now he kind of comes under pressure. Hendrick got around Kennedy back there, and now he'll set his sights on Rafa in that P3, that final podium position. Although we're 24 minutes from the finish here, so there's a lot of time. As Torres looked like he dropped a tire coming out turn 1, and he kept it under control, but you could see him wrestling with that wheel. On board once again with Hendrick. Treakle has gapped about 2.5 seconds over P3 of Rafa. Rafa's just struggling a little bit. That last lap was a 24-second lap versus Treakle's 21-second lap. Best lap of the race belongs to Christopher Hill, though. So Belvin is out of the race. Catriti's never started. Although, yeah, Belvin's back out, although my overlay there, as you can see, it's saying that he's out, but he's a lap down. Hendrick is getting a lot of pressure from behind from Brian Kennedy. Looking through the field to see if there's anything closer. It looks like way back in 15th position. We've got good battles here with John Wood, Stover, and Bradford. Just a tenth of a second between those pair. You can see all those cars really close to each other there. As they head into the keyhole. Again, really didn't talk about much about the track here, but this Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, really love this track. It's a really great IndyCar track, really great, I mean, as the name entails, sports car track, but it's run IndyCar races since the 80s. There's been periods of time where it didn't, but Honda has a factory near here, and it is a Honda Grand Prix in Mid-Ohio here. And Bobby Rahal lives not too far from here. Graham Rahal, obviously, Rahal team based near here with Takuma Sato as well. And you know, this is kind of one of their home track, other than Indianapolis, that all the IndyCar teams consider their home track. But this one keeps the sponsors happy with Honda having that factory near here. This is actually Stover here's 3/10 back on Bradford. That is the closest battle we have on the track. Keeping an eye on other battles, though. Another close one is Lanik. Okay, really close here because Kordenek made a mistake coming out of the keyhole, and Lanik's going to take advantage of that one. Perfect timing there for us to switch on over for that one. Neck drives through the S's, see if he can come back from this. He does have very comparable times. You can hear that traction control really work its magic there on some of these low grip corners here. All these cars are running a fixed setup. Equally prepared machines. BMW M8. Heading into the first corner. Once again. Stover is right on the bumper of Bradford up there. Everybody's doing a really good job keeping it on the track, keeping incidents low, it appears. Again, that was something they were talking about. You know, some tracks lead to more incidents than others. One of the tracks that would do that is Circuit of the Americas. It's just really difficult to drive with. It's iRacing, it's called an incident, and you put two tires off the track and into the grass, and that's considered an incident. You hit somebody's bumper, that's a 2x incident, and if you get a pretty bad crash, it's a 4x incident, and they're only allowed to get 12 of these over this 30-minute period of the race. So very difficult depending on the track. Oh, as we switch over to Blankenship, he just has that rear coming around, but appears to save it. Coming into Thunder Valley. Perfect timing on our camera work there. With the crew in the back controlling all this stuff. Hendrick still working on Rafa here in that fourth position. Lap times have dropped off for the field mostly, other than our leader, who's doing 21.4 second lap every lap just about. Some of our drivers have dropped a hill. Yeah, 5 minutes ago he said his fastest lap, but it's kind of doing 21.3s, 21.4s. Treakle did a 21.3, but his last lap was a minute 22, so almost 6 tenths, almost 7 tenths off of his best. Yeah, and again, if you're watching this and you're wondering how can I get involved in this, just look up BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter. So I think it's BMW CCA NCC, and their league, and they're you know, always looking for new members, and they'd be happy to have you if you're interested in running these cars. BMW M8s. We did a season where we ran the BMW Z4. Then we're going to be running the next season. It's going to be the M4. So it's, you know, all kinds of BMWs they run in this series. So Dean, as I saw that Dean had caught up to the back of Kordenek, and he stuffs it into the tire barriers. So that is not what he wanted. Kordenek is only 4 tenths back from Atlantic, though. So they was really kind of getting into a rhythm there. Kim has caught up to Michael Bond here. 12th position. Only the top 10 positions pay out points for the championships, so important for them to get up there. A little bit of onboard action from our admin there as he headed into the China Beach section. Double checking. I think we might have had... What was it, Kordenek? Just had an off or something? Yes, he did. We'll see what happens here. Is this on the exit, or... It says he had an off track. Yeah, he gets it... Huh. Is there something that happened earlier in this? Because he looks a little slow. Huh. I'm not 100% sure there, but he certainly looked a little bit slow. And he's dropped back. That was, he had dropped back about 1.5 seconds from Lanik. So we're really starting to spread out here, but we've got a good battle back in about the 14th, 15th, and 16th positions. Everywhere else. Okay, we still have Hendrick is about 0.6 from Rafa up there. As Rafa enters the pits. Okay, we're going to have pits here tonight. I think we're running a little bit low on fuel here. So Rafa's going with, it's a 30-minute race. He's pitting at the 15-minute point of this race. Trying to make that pit stop a little bit shorter. Not going to take tires, I don't think. Tires are a really long pit stop out here. So he's done and away. First car to duck into the pits, other than, okay, we had Stover around there, and Stover's a lap down. Hill's not going to be looking forward to Stover after last week's incident. With that said, Treakle has caught back up to Hill. Hill had a bad lap, maybe a bad couple laps, and Treakle's brought it down to a second. It's going to come down to pit stops here, folks, too. So we're going to have to keep an eye on what happens here. They just need a little bit of fuel to make it to the end. Another one of these races that we might have a good battle here for the lead. As Brian Hare just 0.4 back on John Wood, and John Wood is just another 0.5 second from Tim Bradford up there. Through Thunder Valley they go. I feel like Rafa picked the perfect time for his pit there, so I'm surprised that other drivers haven't opted, because the reason I say that is if you're in traffic and you're fighting somebody, you might be able to drive faster if you were by yourself. And if you pit early and can get some hot laps in by yourself, you might end up, when that next person pits, they might come out behind you. So that's what I'd be doing if I was them. So Rafa there comes out in 7th position. See, he's on his own here. He can start setting some pretty fast laps. That battle for the lead is up to about a 1.2 seconds. So I think Hill kind of corrected whatever he was doing last lap. They did pretty comparable laps. 21.6 by Hill and a 21.7 by Treakle. So we're estimating 10 minutes to go, or 10 laps to go in this race. So Hendrick is taking over that 3rd spot, but he's racing against Rafa there. So there was only about, less than a second between Rafa and Hendrick there. So this is going to be one of our interesting battles to see. With Hendrick going a little bit longer, that pit stop might be, I don't know, it should be about the same. It's just going to be about getting in and out of the pits. Make sure you turn your tire change off. Brian Harris hit the pit lane as well. And that lead for Hill is just kind of staying around that 1.2 seconds. Hopefully these guys have all practiced that pit entry, because that's going to be key here. I guess we'll do one more commercial break here. Get our people that pay the bills for this league, get them a shout out here. So we've got Treakle Insurance and Hagerty Insurance. So Treakle Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider that offers auto, home, and business and life insurance. They have teamed up with with Hagerty Insurance to provide collector car coverage as well as race car and track day coverage. And then of course we have the Beltway Brewing Company, thirsty for an award-winning local craft beer. Beltway Brewing Company is located in Sterling, Virginia. A lot of our drivers from this in this league around this section, and they proudly represent the DMV. So try their lineup of original handcrafted IPAs, lagers, sours, and stouts, and you can order directly from their website, beltwaybrewco.com, for contact-free delivery right to your door, or pick up from their Sterling tap room there in Virginia. So that is our sponsors here, and Treakle, one of our drivers out there in the second position, is that Treakle Insurance Agency that we're talking about here. So thanks to him for helping us put these on. Hendrick has hit the pit lane, so this is going to be really interesting where he comes out versus where Rafa is. Let's go up to the chopper. Oh, so he went past his stall there. This, I think that's going to put Rafa into prime position here. Brian Kennedy also coming down the pit lane. Where is Rafa, though? I think Hendrick's going to come out ahead of him. Rafa is back on the pit lane, so something happened. So that battle is not going to happen. Hendrick's going to come out right in that fifth spot. Should be in fourth once this all cycles through. Brian Kennedy made his pit stop as well. Really bad luck for Rafa here this season. He had really bad luck last race. And apparently he's got some issues with his steering wheel, his pedals, and GPU, so tough break for him to get this together, though. We know he can do it. So that lead is just kind of staying the same for Hill. Going on board there with Treakle. Still, most of our leaders, other than Hendrick there, have not pit. But most of our drivers from about 10th spot back have pit. Treakle gained a couple tenths there. That's a couple of corners back there. They are coming up to lap traffic, so I imagine that Hill's going to probably duck in the pits. If I was Treakle, I'd definitely be ducking in the pits right here. You don't want to get into that lap traffic. That could cost him the race. And he stays out, but Treakle dives it in. This could be the race here, folks. Do not want to get a speeding penalty. Let's see if this lap traffic ahead of Hill interferes in any way. That is not what Hill wants, particularly after last week. Yeah, you can see they had a big gap ahead of them, but that's going to come into a factor here. That car was pretty gentlemanly. All the leaders have pit now, other than Hill. That last lap for Hill was a minute 22. Treakle had a long pit stop. He might have had damage, so this might not be much of a race here, actually. Maybe he changed his tires. Although I'm pretty sure a tire change is 30 seconds on these cars, so I think we're not going to get a battle for the lead here once Hill hit pits. And here he comes. Do not get that speeding penalty. Don't hit the cone either. Although you might be able to get away with a cone hit. NASCAR, you cannot get away with a cone hit. It'd be unsafe pit entry. So Kordenek had the fastest pit stop out here. He only had a 1.4 second. I wonder if he got all the fuel in that car that he needs. He had the shortest amount of time on the pit lane, everybody. Oh, and then he goes off. And just about, he's going to keep it off the barrier there. And yeah, there's about a 10-second gap now between Treakle and Hill. Kordenek's going to bring it in. Last car kind of, well, Benson hasn't pit either. And he's made it up to 8th from 19th, but again, he has not pit, so... and he goes wide. That's, this is probably who's going to make this pit here, and, stuffed it into the barriers. Yep, he's going to make that choice to head on into the pits. Let's see if we've got any other close battles we can switch to. Blankenship and Yerxa. This is a good battle. John Wood. So I think Kim was working on John Wood and has gotten ahead of John Wood. Unfortunately, that mistake by Treakle. We're going to get an interview with Treakle here later, and we're going to have to ask him what happened there. As we come down to about 3.5 minutes to go, we're estimating 4 laps to go. So, who had that fast pit stop? Okay, Rafa came back in and had a really short pit stop. Yeah, my timing information updated, and I no longer see that short pit stop that I was mentioning. So Hendrick's going to make it into the podium position. Get another interview with him tonight. Everybody's running that started the race. Gatrides did not start the race, but even Aspen Belvin, we saw him have an issue early on, and we thought maybe he was out, but he is back on the track. Anybody else we want to talk to? Yerxa, having a good run here tonight. One of our, he was new, at least new to the broadcast last week. Rafa working on Bobby Blankenship there. This is, this looks like it's going to happen here, folks. Into the S's, they drive. Go on board here with Rafa, see if he can get this going here. Into Thunder Valley they go. You can see those brake lights come on up. He's going to try to make it work. We'll see if Bobby makes it easy for him. He does not. And they go into the carousel here. Cars side by side ahead of him too. I'm not sure if that's for position or not. Really hard to pass here. I think it's only a matter of time before Rafa can pull this off though. One of the best places to pass would have been the keyhole up here, but we're doing a little bit different layout here. No, well, we have the keyhole, but we have this little curvy S section here before the keyhole. And now into the keyhole. Looks like Rafa's going to have a good exit out of this corner compared to Bobby up here. And we'll see if he can make it work into China Beach. Yeah, he's gonna dive inside. It's gonna make it work, and he almost thought about going for. I think that's a lapped car up there. Thought about going, and they go wide. Oh boy. I was worried that Bobby might run into the back of Rafa there, with Rafa having to check up there. Oh, and Rafa's going to go off into the grass, and I think Bobby's going to get back around. Yes, he did. I don't think Rafa's going to have enough time to come back from that. Well, that will be... I was looking at championship paying position. So Scott Kim has moved into the 10th position. Rafa is in 9th. Working on some lap car there. That is Stover. Bobby Blankenship's going to score some points here tonight if he maintains position. And we're coming to the end here, folks. Hill is going to win here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Our lap calculator called us in a little bit late there to let us know that we were coming down to the end here. Treakle's going to come home in 2nd position. Hendrick, our winner from last week, is going to finish in 3rd. Another good point score for him as he flashes his headlights. Kennedy also likes to flash those lights. And Lannick's going to come home in 5th. Good run by him. He actually led quite a bit of last season's season before having some issues in that final race. Won a race or two, I think just one. Might have been like Zandvoort or something like that. All right, well, we'll get our interviews going momentarily. We'll be right back and we'll set this all up for you guys. All right, let's see, who do we have here? I think I can bring in our 3rd place position. Hey, Hendrick, I've got you up in the booth here.
Hey, Matt.
You got a copy? I decided to take you first here today, but congratulations on 3rd. Tell me about your race.
I am very glad that it is over. I'm not gonna lie, I think that might be my least favorite track in iRacing.
Really?
Yeah, not a fan. No, I mean, I struggled last night in practice and tonight trying to find the pace. It just it just feels like there's a lot of really unnatural lines through this course that just I was really struggling to come to terms with. So started off, I looked down the inside of Brian on the start and decided, try to keep it clean, especially after, how bad I felt last week, even if there wasn't any contact. And I ended up just getting lucky. I mean, Raf had a little off there, and I managed to just kind of pick the right way to go around it. And Brian just lost out. I think, I mean, I hope I probably would have passed him regardless on tracks. I think I had just a little bit more race pace. And then it was just a matter of keeping it together, which I don't know if you noticed. I had a little half spin, but thankfully I had a little bit of a cushion there.
We did not see that on the broadcast, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I was just at that point, I was just basically waiting to see where Raph would come out because I saw him pit really early and thought he was going for the huge undercut, and I guess it just didn't quite work out. Probably ended up coming out in traffic, and lucked out with the bottom step on the podium, but it's champagne nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't know what happened exactly there because I was certainly watching that and seeing where he was going to come out, and then it just wasn't even there when you pit and everything. It was like
Yeah,
you came out on your own basically. So
yeah, got lucky.
yeah, you got lucky. Well, congratulations here. Where are we going next week? It's New Jersey,
New
right?
Jersey. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to give it a miss because I am going to get out of Dodge ahead of next week's events.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good luck then, and be safe and everything like that. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Sounds good, Matt. Have a great one.
Yeah, you too.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Well, we'll get our winner in here. Hey, Chris. This is Matt up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hello. Hello.
I think I've got you. Do you have me? Some slight technical difficulties. But
I had to push a button.
okay, you've got the push to
User
talk
error.
on. Well, another victory for you. So I was watching. I looked at the results for the previous season, and we got our broadcast in last week. You had some unfortunate happenings in that one. Finally knocked you off the winner's circle, but you're back here this week. Tell us about your race.
Last week was definitely interesting for sure. Had the barrel roll there, but yeah, no, went for the stunt points, not the winning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, this was
I think I've lost you again. You gotta maintain that push to talk button.
let me try again.
Okay, there.
You hear
I
me
am,
better
yeah.
now?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, I thought after qualifying, I'd probably have the pace advantage over Darren and them to get away a little bit. But man, Darren was just hanging there with me, and for sure, I think he his decision to pit on the lap that he pitted was probably the right one because I lost a little time in the traffic and then I guess something must have happened with him in the pits, maybe too much fuel or something, and
Yeah, he
I
had.
was kind of a anticlimactic there a little bit, but. Um, Otherwise, yeah, good fun race. I mean, it was not a track I've raced before, so definitely getting dialed in on it.
Well, that's surprising. It's the sports car course, so.
Yeah, yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't see this in a lot of official series, and I just hadn't gotten around to getting it. I actually just bought it the other day just to try it out. So yeah, good
Yeah,
fun.
since I'm IndyCar
Good
guy,
fun track though.
IndyCar does come here quite a bit, so I know it quite well. But yeah, Hendrick was saying that this wasn't one of his favorite ones either. So
It's a funny one with these cars. It's not. It's a little hard to get a real good rhythm there, but it's yeah. I don't know.
well,
It was enjoyable. So
I will say that you guys were so there's the keyhole that's like this what would have been the second corner, but you guys were running this that weird corner before. This is like after turn one. You guys have that shoot
yeah,
off to what would be the keyhole, but you had
yeah, and
that
that was kind
right.
of my thought too. Is if that was the traditional corner, it might have been a bit more normal, but
Yeah, there'd have been another
whatever.
passing point
It still was
basically,
good
but yeah, that's
for
right.
sure.
Well, congratulations. Any thoughts for next week? We're going to New Jersey Motorsports Park. I do not know that
That's
track.
another one that I haven't done anything with. I don't think I have it yet, and I probably should do some practice on it. Darren's been right there or thereabouts for the last couple of weeks, so I'm excited to see if we can continue the battles moving forward there, and hopefully have another fun race. So
Well, the good news I can tell you on that one, if you're gonna have to buy it, is it's actually a tech track, so it's a little bit cheaper than
oh.
the usual tracks.
Cool.
So,
Well,
well,
that
we'll
should be
see
fun.
you next week, and be safe in the next week as well.
Yeah, sounds good. You too.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, we'll get a final podium interview with Darren here. We're gonna figure out what happened to him. Hey, Darren, this is Matt up here in the booth. Do I have a copy?
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Good. How about you? Finishing P2, but I feel like you're about to tell us about something that might have went wrong there.
Yeah, I had a little snafu in the pits. My auto refuel was not turned on, and I realized it stopped the fueling, but then for whatever reason the car wouldn't go into gear. I don't know what that was about, and then finally it took off. So, but yeah, it was a pit stop snafu.
Yeah, I saw, everybody's kind of like a 6 or even we had 5-second pit stops just to get some fuel, and you're sitting there at a 15-second pit stop. So I knew that was not good for this because we were waiting for you to see where you came out, because I think you picked the perfect lap to pit because Chris was going to have some lap traffic he was going to have to deal with.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, sometimes things just don't work out.
That's right. And P2 still pretty good. So any other thoughts? And you want to do a shout out to your sponsorship and anybody watching as well?
Yeah, it was a good race. I had fun. I was just kind of hanging out behind Raphael there for a little while, and then he made a little mistake, and then I don't know if I would have been able to pass Chris, honestly. I was probably relying on a pit stop maybe to get me by him, but because our lap times were pretty similar. One lap he'd run a little quicker, one lap I'd run a little quicker, so but yeah, so it was lost in the pits, at least for me anyway.
Yeah, it could have been gained in the pits, but then it was also lost in the pits too. So
yeah. I mean, I switched systems, got a new computer system, and hooked it all up over the weekend, and I I reloaded everything new.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to get everything situated, and I guess I forgot to turn the automatic fuel on, and I rely on that because I don't sit there and calculate it. I just let that take care of it. So
understood. Yeah, getting new pedals and getting new steering wheel and getting a new system is always always tricky. So
it is. Yeah. But I do want to give a shout out, obviously, to Treakle Insurance Agency, my insurance agency, but Andrew Glisson over at Hagerty for jumping on board with me and doing this sponsorship. That really was good of him to kind of jump in there. And Hagerty can, they can insure your race car. They can insure your track day car if you go to the track to do an HPDE or Friday at the track at Summit Point or anything like that. They can give you track day coverage for it. So if you you buy their coverage for a stated amount, and if you have an incident on the track, you're covered. If you total the car, you're covered for whatever you insured it for, that stated amount. So
I'm not sure that everybody realizes that their normal insurance doesn't apply there once they drive out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, so there are a lot of folks that don't know that your auto insurance your personal auto will not typically cover you while you're on track. Or if they do, it's going to be a one-time deal. They're not going to make a habit of it. So yeah, you have to buy track day insurance, and it's relatively inexpensive considering how much a lot of these cars cost if you had to replace it. I mean, a lot of these cars are 30, 40, 50, even more than that, $1,000,
Yeah, when you modded them out and everything like that too.
Yeah,
right?
So you don't want to have one incident on track.
Understood. Yeah.
So,
well, that's why I stick to iRacing personally.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, really good cause, and I appreciate you guys helping us put this on here in the BMW Car Club National Capital Chapter. And at the end of the day, P2 really good position. For the championship here. I think Chris has pretty much got that pretty locked up anyway, though, with however many victories he had before I came on board again for the broadcasts. But
right.
You guys can keep it interesting there.
Oh, absolutely.
Well.
Yep. It's all in good fun,
That's right. Yep. Well, you have a good, safe rest of your week, and we'll see you next week's New Jersey Motorsport Park. You have any thoughts about that one?
I like New Jersey. I feel like I should do okay there. I've raced there many times in real life and
Okay.
and in iRacing. So
Well, little tip for you. It sounds like Chris. Well, Hendrik said he's probably not going to be here next week, but Chris said that he actually hasn't driven it before. So unless he's, not, he's giving me bad info.
well, I don't think he's probably giving you bad info, but he's a very quick learner because I don't
Yeah.
know that he had done many laps at Mid Ohio.
That's what he said. Yeah.
And it didn't take him long to pick it up.
Okay.
And I'd raced at Mid Ohio at the SCCA National Championships when they were there, plus a couple other races in real life and several in iRacing. So, I don't really hold much weight in him not being ever going to New Jersey. I don't think it's going to take him long.
Well, I think it might have been just in iRacing he hasn't done it before. Maybe he's done it in real life. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you have a good rest of your night. And again, like I said, have a safe next week, and we'll see you on, I think I was saying Wednesday, but I mean Thursday next week.
Yeah, so, Thursday. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.
All right, you take care of yourself.
Alrighty. All right, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter at Mid-Ohio. So let's do a run through of our final results. We can see it on the screen already, but I have a little results screen that we can also look at too. Christopher Hill in the first position, followed by Darren Treakle, Hendrik Deswart, P3, Brian Kennedy in P4, Peter Lanik in P5, Dean Thuline in 6th, Peter Yerksa in P7, Bobby Blankenship the third in P8. Rafa Torres had some issues there, started 2nd, finishes 9th. Scott Kim, our admin here, is going to wind up in the points. John Wood in P11, Tim Bradford P12, Brian Hare P13, Michael Bond P14, Matthew Stover P15. And, okay, we've got the grid on there. Stephen Tenney in P16, Colin Kordenek. So Colin had a rough race, I'd say. Aspen Belvin in 18th and Robert Benson in P19. So we'll see you guys next week. New Jersey Motorsports Park. It's Tech Track. It'll be interesting. I actually do not know the track at all, so I have to study that track map and do a little bit of research before this one. So yeah, take care of yourselves, and we'll be back same time next week, 8 o'clock, a little bit after 8, like 8:10 is when we go live, because we run these till, it's 9:20 now, and we'll see you then.